Final Fantasy XIV is a massive game with thousands of hours of content. What I'm going to do here is break down some of the major plot points for those of you who want to know more about Eorzea but may not have the time to experience it all firsthand. Today we're blasting our way through the first part of the Magic DPS Questline from Shadowbringers. To complete the main story of Shadowbringers, you have to finish one of the 4 role questlines. There's the Tank, Healer, Physical DPS, and the Magic DPS. You unlock the role quest by completing the Warrior of Darkness quest and reaching level 70 with the job for one of the roles. You start the quest by talking to Sarek in the Crystarium. He's a bounty hunter out to track down a Sin Eater by the name of Phronesis, and he's looking for a partner who's skilled in the arcane arts. Phronesis is one of the Cardinal virtues, a Sin Eater formed from the remains of one of the Warriors of Light who brought the Flood to the First. Before he became a Sin Eater, Phronesis was a powerful mage, which is why Sarek wanted a magic user as a partner, since fighting a sorcerer with the bow would be a good way to die. Before he's willing to share the bounty with you, Sarek wants to see if you have the skills that he needs, so you meet him in Amarang to show him what you can do. You face off against a minor Sin Eater who you easily take down, but the display is enough for Sarek to offer you the job and half the bounty for taking down Phronesis. The two of you head to his base in Mordsuk to discuss the mission. Sarek tells you that Mordsuk had once been a bustling trading outpost until Phronesis appeared. Since then, bounty hunters have been trying to take him down, and the few who survived saw him summoning large dark holes that swallowed anything in their path. Some mages claim that the portals are gateways to other worlds, but no one has ever come back through one to tell them. Oddly enough, Phronesis doesn't attack people who aren't bothering him. He simply summons his mysterious portals and leaves. No bounty hunter has found a way around the gateways, but Sarek figures that a mage of your skill should be able to deal with him. He goes off to find information on Phronesis' whereabouts while you prepare yourself for the battle. The Sin Eater has been sighted in the area, so Sarek plans to shadow it from afar so you can form a plan of attack. He's going to set a clockwork drone in Phronesis' path to see how wide his range is, but first you have to repair the thing. He sends you to snatch the tendons of some local wildlife for him to use in the repairs. I really think 90% of the Warrior Light's life has been spent picking up random items for lazy people. While he fixes the thing, he sends you to find a good vantage point for you to spy on the Sin Eater. Sarek shows up with the clockwork decoy, and all that's left is for the two of you to wait. Phronesis shows up, and you get to see him open one of the portals firsthand. When he leaves, Sarek sends the clockwork to test the range of the Sin Eater's portal. After the decoy is swallowed, the two of you head down to get a closer look. You hear a voice coming from inside of the hole asking for help, but Sarek can't seem to hear it. The voice calls out again, and Sarek comes up with the idea for you to channel your ether into the rift to guide whoever it is back. You try it and it works, drawing a small boy out of the rift before it closes. He passes out, and the two of you take him back to Mordsuk to get him checked out. The boy's appearance causes more questions than it answers. Are there other people trapped in the rifts? Can you free them? What's on the other side? There's a lot of questions to ask the boy once he finally wakes up. When he wakes, Sarek informs you that he's physically healthy, but he doesn't know where he came from or how he ended up in the rift. The only thing he remembers is that his name is Tainer. Sarek thinks he's a good kid, and you two need to reunite him with his family. He tells you to go have a talk with him so you can get to know him a little bit before you set off. Tainer instantly recognizes your ether as the one that guided him out of the rift. The people who examined him sense great magical power within him, and the fact that he can so easily separate your ether from the ether around you is a testament to his abilities. He can't remember anything other than feeling of someone passing by him while he was in the void. Seems like someone, or something, may have come out of the void into our world. Sarek doesn't think that's possible, which is ironic since you came from another world. Regardless, it's time to find Tainer a home. The boy protests, not wanting to burden you any further, but Sarek brushes him off, saying that figuring out where he came from may just give them more information about the target. Because of Tainer's mystical powers and skills, Sarek rules out the possibility of him being an orphan, and someone must have trained him for him to know all the things that he does. Whoever it was is probably worried sick about him. Sarek has already checked his channels in the Crystarium, and no one there is missing a small boy, but he knows a merchant in Mordsuk who travels all over and may know something. Surprisingly, the merchant heard of a mage who'd been attacked by a Sin Eater and was separated from a child in the battle. It's too big of a coincidence to ignore, so you all head off to investigate. When you arrive, the mage has already succumbed to his injuries and become a Sin Eater, but the woman there tells you that he'd already found his son. Tainer decides to look around the area to see if anyone knows him, and the mage's now orphan son accompanies him to take his mind off of his loss. Sarek decides that you need to find someone to take care of Tainer. It's not like he plans on giving up on finding the boy's family, but keeping him with you while you hunt Phronesis may end up with Tainer dead. It will be better to gather clues while the boy is safe in the Crystarium. He thinks his contact in the Wandering Stairs will be able to find a suitable guardian for the boy. You go to break the news to Tainer only to find that he's run off. Tainer had mentioned to the boy that he'd come out of one of the rifts, and the boy figured out that he'd been attacked by a Sin Eater. Having just watched his dad turn into one of the monsters, he says that Tainer may be turning into one too. Tainer panics and runs off. You find him being attacked by 3 Sin Eaters. You fight them off before he's hurt, and Sarek assures the boy that he doesn't have to worry about becoming an eater. Doctors had checked him for that immediately after Sarek found him, and he was perfectly fine. The stress of not knowing who he is takes over, and Tainer starts to cry, causing the Echo to show you a vision of him and another young boy training to open dark portals identical to the one you saved him from under the tutelage of an elder sorcerer. The boy does it with ease, but Tainer struggles until his friend encourages him. Tainer calls him Nyelbert before the vision ends. When the vision ends, Tainer remembers a bit of his past, the same part that you just saw. The name Nyelbert sounds familiar to him, but he can't remember anything about his friend. Sarek decides that it'll be best to talk in a less Sin Eater infested location, so you head back to Mordsuk where you explain your power to look into the past. Tainer confirms that what you saw matched what he remembered. Sarek nods and tells Tainer that his friend Nyelbert was one of the Warriors of Light and the very man who became the Sin Eater Phronesis. That meant that Tainer's vision happened well over 100 years ago. And that's where we're going to stop for today. If you enjoyed this video, then give it a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe so you won't miss out on the second part of this story.